Hello and welcome, everyone. I'm Karen Chaston, and today I'm in a different location. Not in my loft today, but the good news is, and we're also a couple of hours later, is that I have been traveling. Today I want to talk to you about something that is really close to my heart and something that I really would love your feedback, and I'd love to have your comments. So please say hello if you're here and just let me know that you're around, obviously. Hi, Shanae. Nice to see you here. So I'm in Sydney, and if you're in Australia, you probably know that Sydney is in lockdown. Now, I normally live in Queensland, and I chose to come down here a couple of weeks ago. I think it was on the 23rd of June, which was a Wednesday. And I had something really personal that I wanted to do with my birth daughter. And when I was 16, I had a daughter. Hi, Diane from Texas. Oh, hi, Kerry. Great to see you here. So a couple of weeks ago on this Wednesday, I chose to fly to Sydney, even though I knew that there was a possibility that there may be a lockdown. And the decision that I chose was a heart decision, not a head decision. And I'm just wondering, let me know if you've ever been even aware that you have heart and head decisions. Hi, Kim. Great to see you from Melbourne. So let me know, do you actually consciously make heart decisions in your life? Are you always just, going with your head, looking at the facts, gathering it all, and then deciding what to do? Because I want to share with you the story of what has happened in my life since I made a heart choice and came to Sydney on the 23rd of June. Now, the reason why I chose to come down then was for my birth daughter. Now, I had my daughter when I was 16, and I adopted her out because at that time, in 1973, I thought, knowing the facts that I knew, it was the best choice that I could have possibly made. It was a head choice, okay? It wasn't a heart choice. It was a logical decision, thinking, well, I'm 16, I can't really support her, nor can her father, so why not give her to a better home? It wasn't a heart choice. So here we are, nearly 48 years later, and I came to Sydney for her and me to meet with my mother. And the choice was, she's met my mother a lot of times over the years. She has actually been in my life for 20 years. And it's, as you can imagine, it's been a very, very up and down relationship. But I came to Sydney because it was time, my mother's in her early 90s, for us to come together and for us to, have an open and honest conversation. But since I've been here and, forced to stay here, and I'm going to say forced because, I would like to go home, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm here. I'm same with a girlfriend, in a great place. But more importantly, I'm getting to spend each morning with my daughter. We are walking each morning. We're having a fun time, and so many different things have happened since I made my heart choice to come to Sydney. And I'm doing a lot of things that I really had wished that I could do like 10 years ago. So my dreams have come true. And that's another thing let's talk about today. Sometimes we expect our dreams to dream it, come true so straight away. And unfortunately, it doesn't always work that way. So that's what I'd like for you to sort of, let's have some fun and figure out, where you're at. I can see that Shanae has said more heart than head decisions. So she thinks, very clever. But no, I really want you to realize that when you make a heart choice, right, you'll have a lot of people, and I had a lot of people going, don't do it. Don't go to Sydney. You're going to be in lockdown. And I thought, well, do you know what? If I am in lockdown, that's where I'm meant to be. And I bought my camera and I bought my computer and I bought all my sort of things so that, because I work from home, I am a life coach, as most of you know, who specializes in loss, hence why my program is called Beyond Loss, Loving Life with Karen Chaston. But I really want people to to start to see that there are no coincidences in life. And when you know that, and when you follow your heart, you can see a thread of how the universe looks after you, how you have infinite possibilities continually coming at you, but more importantly, how your life just is so much better because you know that you're guided and protected. You know that you're being looked after. And you also know that no matter what happens is okay because it's going to lead you to where you're going to be. Sure, it may take you down a little path for a little while and you might be going, what the hell's going on here? I'm not really sure about this. And it's okay to have self-doubts. Like on the first night that I arrived, literally within hours, they had locked New South Wales people out of Queensland. And I thought, oh my God, why did I come? You know, I'm only just here. Why did I do it? But then I very quickly used my tools and my practices, and I very quickly was told, now, wait a minute, it was a heart decision. It wasn't a head decision. So of course you're going to feel a little bit silly because you went with your heart and you just haven't seen the pathway that is going to open up for you over the next couple of weeks. And I have to say, here we are 10 days in, and it is amazing that everything that has happened far beyond my wildest dreams. So, Shanae, sometimes I find that the people around us don't always accept the heart decision and think you should have made the head decisions. And I find this hard. So true, Shanae. And I have had exactly the same thing go on over the last 10 days because they were like, I didn't expect you to come. Like, why did you come? And I literally just went, I came with my heart. If I had made a head decision, obviously I wouldn't have come. And when you actually say that as a response, people just go, oh, okay, right? Whereas if you try to defend your decision from a head perspective, you're just going to come off maybe as being perceived as silly, irresponsible, and you didn't do it. But when you disown it, and I owned it really early on, I just went, I made a heart decision. I'm here for a reason. Let's just see how this plays out. It's that simple. So maybe, Shanae, that's a really good response for you to take on and just say, you know what, it was a heart decision and I own it. And when you own your choices and your feelings, no one can argue with you or try to sort of say, well, what the hell are you doing? Or, you know, any response in those lines. Because it's like, no, this is what I did for me. I felt it was right. I did it out of love. So therefore, you know, I really don't even have to, at the end of the day, explain my choices. But sometimes when you explain it from a more loving way, it helps other people to realize, do you know what? I can make heart decisions. And it doesn't always have to be logical to everyone else. As long as I come from love, as long as I come from a space of knowing that I'm always guided and protected, I am always where I'm meant to be, there are no coincidences, and then you just sort of sit back and just let it play out. And when you do that, it's amazing where you go. Now, if I had chosen a head decision, I would be in limbo in relationship to my birth daughter and me connecting with my mother. We wouldn't have a date. My mother's 91. And reason what we said we're doing this date was because we don't know. You know, no one has an expiry date on their birth certificate. So you don't know when that date's going to be. And I feel that the 2020 pandemic is really highlighting that for everyone. The fact that you don't know when you're going to be able to do something. So just do it now. Just do it for the right reasons and everything will work out. So that's one of the things I wanted to talk to you about. And thank you, Shanae. I love the way you have explained that. Thank you. And I hope it utilizes you because you've mentioned that you really love your heart decisions. So I hope that helps you to explain to other people why you chose the way that you have chosen, without them, giving you all these reasons why you shouldn't have. And at the end of the day, it's always your choice. So the other thing I wanted to, the second thing that we're going to share today is my card from the beautiful channeled spiritual guidance cards by Marcia Quinton, which I love choosing before we come on. And know that this card is for everyone. I don't do individual readings. I am not a medium. We are all intuitive. But I chose this card, which you can see is a beautiful medicine woman. I am so attached to the Native Americans. I have been guided most of my life that I know that I have definitely spent a few lifetimes in Native America as a, Native American, and I just love it. One of the stories, and I'm sure I've shared it here on this platform many times, is I loved the way that they would use nature to, their advantage, but they would always honor the universe. They would honor the world, and they'd only ever kill whatever they required. They'd only ever take whatever they could, and they'd obviously replant and regenerate, and they were nomadic. So they would move on to different areas in different times of the year where they knew that they would be provided for. But more importantly, they were very, very connected spiritually. And they understood the energy that we are all connected energetically, and that for me to be energized, I don't have to bring you down. We know that the energy actually comes from other sources, not from us, bringing you down or draining your energy in order for me to be, energized. And that's what I love about them more than anything else. And that's a most amazing way to live your life. And I was guided to read the Celestine Prophecies again by one of my spiritual teachers, Beth Elaine Haynes. And if you know Beth, please connect to her. She's an amazing spiritual teacher. And I reread it. I actually started, I read on my iPhone, and I had the book downloaded from probably about a year ago. And as I hopped on the plane on the 23rd, I got onto the plane and I started reading the Celestine Prophecies. And I highly recommend that if you have never read it, to read it. And if you have read it, to reread it, because you're always a completely different person to who you were the first time you read it. You've grown and you've done different things. And believe me, I got so many insights from it. They've also changed the ending to the book, where in the original version that I read in the late 90s, they actually said that the book was fiction. And I was really angry. I was really upset when they actually said the book is fiction. But in this book, they have taken that out, because I guess, 20 years later, more than 20 years later, nearly 25 years later, we know that we are more enlightened. And it's really great that these 9 insights, which is what they are gaining through the Celestine Prophecies, through the journey that he takes. The beautiful thing about it is that we can see how these amazing insights have actually become more to the forefront of all of our awareness, which is great. Of course, there's more people who can embrace them. So I highly recommend, Miranda, that you love the book. If you haven't read it for a while, even if you haven't read it for a year, reread it, because there is always something else that you will gain from it. Okay, Kim Grattan, one heart decision I made, I am still grieving about. Oh, that's interesting, Kim. Would you like to expand on that? I would love for you to expand on it if you feel you would. Or if you would like to talk to me about it, feel free to reach out to me. Here, I'll just type my email address here. And then I will just reach out to me if you would like to, because obviously I help people to move beyond any kind of loss, any kind of grief. and to create their better every life, to get out of the suffering in silence, because let's face it, our life is way too important for us to be spending all of our time not moving on and creating our dream life. So feel free, Kim, to reach out. I'm just checking that my email address is right. Yeah, no, it's not. And that's probably why it didn't hit enter. Isn't that amazing? It did hit enter. Okay. It is Karen at karenchaston.com.au. So as you can clearly see, I've left it off the thing. Yes, I made a decision to put my fur baby to sleep. Oh, okay. Now, that was a heart decision, and that was a beautiful heart decision, Kim. And you know that your beautiful fur baby was suffering. So it is a beautiful decision that you made, but I totally understand it's not an easy decision. Our fur babies are our unconditional love. They show it to us every single day, no matter who we are, how we feel, what's going on in our life. They just know. And I totally understand where you're at. So know that your fur baby is with you, even though they're not physically here. They are certainly emotionally and spiritually traveling with you, and they will show you signs. So please look out for the signs, because you know that your heart decision was to put your fur baby out of the pain that they were going through. And, just know that, and know that the unconditional love that you gave each other is going to live on forever, and you'll always know that. Yeah, and good on you. It's not an easy decision, I know. And I must admit, if my little dog Sirius, who came to us a year after my son passed away, after Dan passed away nearly 10 years ago, so we've had Sirius for over 9 years now, it would be devastating for him to go. But he's not happy with me at the moment because I'm in Sydney and he's on the Gold Coast, but that's okay. He's being taken care of. And I'm energetically sending him love and cuddles and all those things that we can all do energetically. And let's face it, our fur babies certainly pick them up. Now, let's get back to this card. Okay. So as I said, it's called Medicine Women. So I'm going to read it to you, and know that this card is for everyone who hears this card, obviously on this platform. So Medicine Woman, number 52. A gentle healer has touched your pathway. She will call down the thunder from heaven and build bridges to awaken you and to renew your strength that flourishes within your soul. She will break down barriers and build new boundaries that creates new journeys. She's a powerful force and walks by your side. She has opened her heart and allowed this mystical healing to reach out and meet your needs at this time. Can you hear her calling the Great Spirit to your path to heal and nurture your wounds that you have suffered from in your life? Awaken to the sound of her drum. This is the heartbeat of all creation, feeling it beating with your own. Oh, wow, what a beautiful card. And I'm sure, Kim, that the Medicine Woman has been here sending you that beautiful drum for you to realize that your fur baby is also traveling with you and beating with your heart at the same time as well. Okay, so another thing that I'd like to talk about, I've mentioned the Celestine prophecies, and one of the very first ones is that there are no coincidences in life. So when you come from this perspective, it is really amazing to sort of sit back like you're still living your life and actually start to focus on the fact that there is no coincidence in your life, and to realize that everything that happens for a reason, that there may be a message there for you to find what that message is all about. So often people trigger us. And as we are reflections of each other, it's really ideal to sort of sit back when you are triggered by someone and ask yourself a few questions. Questions like, why is this person triggering me? What memory are they bringing up? And it could be a memory from your childhood. It could be so many different things that they're triggering you about. But when you sit quietly with the question of asking yourself, why is this person triggering me the way they are? You can start to deep dive into yourself and you can start to find the answers to something that may require healing, the answers to something that you may have been carrying around for way too long, because there is always a message in every perceived negative or positive event in your life. So it's really beautiful that when you actually start to realize that there are no coincidences and you start to deep dive into, what does this mean? Um, what what is it? What memory is it bringing up for me? What is it inside of me that requires healing? And then, of course, when you wait for the answers, and the answers can come in so many different ways. It can be a feeling, it could be a thought, it could even be a thought of someone popping into your head. And it may not be that person that originally triggered you, but it could be through an event where you were there together. And or it could be the fact that they physically remind you of someone who you never really liked. So they put you back into that potentially traumatic state that you were in when this person was in your life. But it's also about you finding the thread to the source of what this pain is all about, because the person who's triggering you is just the symptom. It's all about you getting back to the source, so that when you get back to the source, you can heal it and then you can move on and you can release it, which so you no longer have to carry it around with you anymore. Which, let's face it, who wants to keep carrying all this baggage around with you? It just gets so heavy. And the more that you can release, the more that these triggers will stop happening, because when you heal this trigger, therefore it won't be triggered again in someone else. And it's always beautiful to remember that no one does anything to you, they do it for you. So when you deep dive into what it's all about, you will find the gift and the answer, which is why we say they do it for you, so that you can heal, because we're all on these spiritual journeys. And in the world that we live in, life is pretty dense. Like, all you got to do is turn on the news and you can realize how dense the world can be at times. And, if you don't have your spiritual practices in order for you to be able to come back into joy and love and peace and harmony, it really can be quite traumatic, and you may even end up suffering in silence. The other day I got a Facebook video, I think it was, or a messenger video from a friend, and it put me into a little bit of a down, and I'm a very positive person. And I went, this isn't good. So I'm going to release it. So I did a bit of a dance, and I'm sitting down at the moment. Otherwise I would normally dance, but I'll do it for you when I'm back home. And it's a dance where you actually find in your body where this energy, this dark mass is sitting. So it's a 5-step process. And the first one is for you to recognize. Okay. So you recognize where in the body you are feeling this dark mass or this angst. And then you start to unravel this dark energy, and you can unravel it by chopping it or by moving around and sort of just getting it so it's not just stuck. And then you release it. And then the greatest way, the most easiest way to release this dark energy is for you to grab it. Just say it's sitting here in your heart. So you can literally grab it with your hands and then force it out of your body with noise. So you would do something like, ugh, and that would get rid of the energy. You may do it 2 or 3 times, but what happens is you will feel it release from your body. And the beautiful thing is that when you release that dark mass from your body and put it out into the energy of the universe, it dissipates. And so don't feel that when you throw it out of your body and you're standing opposite someone that you're going to hit them with the dark energy and they're going to take it on. It doesn't go like that. It goes out of your body. So it's still in your auric field, and then it goes up and it dissipates. So everything is fine. So you don't have to worry about throwing it at someone else. And then, so you've done recognize, unravel, release, and then you're going to restore. So you're going to restore this hole that's in your body now, and you restore it by bringing in all of the amazingness from the universe. So you can bring in the love and the joy and the happiness, the fulfillment, the way that is just unbelievable when you do that. And then the last one is to rejoice, because you're going to dance around and you're going to have gratitude and you're going to feel totally amazing. So enjoy that little practice, because it's amazing how much stuff we carry around in our body. And obviously these dark masses are what turns into disease, because we're not in ease and we haven't released it. So we don't have this practice in order to release them out into the universe. So it's a really good practice. And so the 5 steps, just so you're aware, is to recognize, unravel, release, restore, and rejoice. And that is the greatest way for you to release the crap of the day, whatever it is. Really great practice, actually, for you to do before you walk into your home at night. Okay, you may be in lockdown at the moment, but if you have a practice, you've been out working all day and you've taken on a lot of different energies, and a lot of stuff's been coming at you and you're feeling really tired, just spend a couple of minutes actually doing that. You may even want to sit in your car or at your front door and just do it, release it, and then you walk in. Not only are you standing taller and straighter, but you're energized, and then you bring in that love and gratitude that you have just restored and rejoiced about into the home. So you're not bringing that baggage of that day. Amazing. You'll be, just do it and let me know how you go, because I can tell you right now, your relationships are going to be amazing because of the different way that you're doing this. So that's a little practice that I learned years ago from a group that I was part of called Braveheart Women. And they actually called it DIBO, which stood for Dance Your Butts Off. And that's not the butts that we sit on. It's actually the butts that we live in, but I'm not good enough, but I don't know what to do, or but I'm ugly, or anything that you say, which obviously then has a but after it. Which brings me to the next thing that I want to talk about. But before I do that, I'm just going to have a look at some of the things. So Janelle, hi. As a NDA survivor, for people who don't know that, near-death experience survivor, I've been getting the nudge that I need to take a leap with my gifts, but not sure what that leap is. Any insights? Okay, Janelle. Now, I am not. I'm not a medium. I am not an. I don't do that. But you know what the answers are. Now, I can help you to find the answers through the practices that I do. So I highly recommend that you reach out to me. I've posted earlier my email address, but I did type it slightly wrong. So I'll type it again. And then after I finish today's little session, I will also, under your comment, type my email address and you can reach out. So what I do is I ask questions, right? Now you can ask yourself these questions, because it's really important for us all to know that you are the master that you are seeking. You have all the answers for you inside of you. But because we were sort of taught that we're not good enough and we don't know this and the world is all knowing and all these things, which it is, we trust others more than we trust ourselves. So that's why I would say to you, reach out, because I will sit down and I will ask you a whole lot of questions. And the questions will lead you to your answers, because no one will ever have the ideal answers for you, because we all come with our own beliefs, our own baggage, the whole lot of things. And that's why only you have the most ideal answers for yourself. And that's why I say reach out and that will help you. Because I can tell you right now, if you have had a near death experience, you are definitely here to do amazing things. And it is probably time for you to actually get your gifts happening. Now, Janelle, have you read the book Dying to Be Me and by Anita Moriarty, spelled Moorjani? Um, while you're typing, if anyone has, this is the most amazing book. So let me explain to you Anita's story. So, and I think it was back in the, if it wasn't in the late 90s, it was in the early 2000s. So she had cancer. Now, Anita is half Chinese and half Indian. And she always felt that she didn't belong in either culture. And no matter where she went, she always felt that she wasn't in the right place. Great, you've read it. I'm so glad. But I'll keep telling the story for the others who haven't read it. So she ended up attracting cancer because of all of her beliefs and the way that she had lived her life. And she did a whole lot of different medicines. And when she wasn't in the community or in the cities and stuff, she could actually heal herself. But once she came back in, obviously her beliefs kicked back in and she found it really hard. Anyway, she was on her deathbed. And she was, have I frozen? Hello. Have I frozen? Okay. Now, I hope I haven't frozen. Can someone let me know if I am frozen? Where I am, the internet is not as good as where it is in my own home. Oh, okay, I'm back. Okay, right. Sorry if I was frozen. Oh, you can still hear me? Okay, thanks, Janelle. Okay, so next time it happens, I'll just keep talking. Okay, so what happened was she was on her deathbed, all of her organs were shutting down, but she could still hear people, corridors away. She could hear her husband and her mother talking. And she was like, "No, no, I'm okay." She could even see her brother on a plane rushing to get to her deathbed. So she did have a near death experience and she did go over to the other side where her father greeted her and a cousin greeted her and a friend, I think it was, greeted her. And they all said to her, "Your time's not up, Anita. It's time for you to go back. You have so much work to do. We really appreciate you going back." And she's going, "I can't go back. I can't go back to that sick body. I really can't." They said, "If you go back, your body will heal." And literally the next day, she sat up and asked to have some ice cream. And all of the doctors, everyone was like amazed. They're like, "No, no, no, your organs were shutting down. You should have died before now, and you're asking for ice cream." So she has gone on and she's done these amazing things, helping people to learn how to love themselves, to know that they are the master they are seeking, to trust themselves, to deep dive into their intuition, to start asking themselves the very important questions that will lead them to their purpose and passion, because that's what we're all here to do. When we have purpose and passion, let's face it, we just show up, don't we? We rock up each and every day and we're excited about what the day's going to bring. But more important, we're here serving others to assist them to find their better everyday life, which is what everything I'm about is I do. I help people to move beyond any kind of loss, and there are over 40 different kinds of losses. And if you're not really sure what they are, let me just move this on here. I'm going to bring up on the screen. Here's a list of the 40 plus, loss events that can occur in each and every one of our lives. And it's when you look at them and you sort of think, "Oh, wow, some of them I didn't even realize would be a grief causing situation." But then when you think back to when it was possibly in your life, you can see, or someone else's life, you can now understand, "Oh, wow, they were grieving and suffering. And I didn't really understand what they were going through." And that's why I do what I do, because most people don't understand that you can easily move beyond any kind of loss. There is a process. We've never been taught how to do it. And we've over 40 different loss events. We're all going to have multiple. And this is why we've all gone into a lot of times avoidance, because we don't know how to move beyond loss. We get stuck. People don't understand why we are feeling the way we are. So we start to feel that maybe there's something wrong with me. No one understands what I'm going through. But in reality, it's because they haven't experienced what you're going through. If they had, they would go, oh, wow, now I know why he felt that way or she felt that way. So it's really important for us to understand that no matter what happens in our life, there is always a pathway. It's like it's a bridge taking us from where we are today to where we're going to be in the future. So, and the bridge, the way you get over that bridge is through the questions that you ask yourself. So, Janelle, I'd love for you to reach out, and we can go from there. Or more importantly, you may be able to find your answers by actually having a look at my program, which I have called Revitalize Your Life. And this gives you a lot of the questions that you can ask yourself, because sometimes we don't really know what questions to ask ourselves. So here's a link to, and I've purposely called it Revitalize Your Life. And the reason why I've called it Revitalize Your Life is because people don't even realize that they've started to lose a little bit of themselves through their life journey. They haven't realized that, through this event, I lost this part of me, or through this about, I stopped dancing and singing when I was with this person. And now I'm not really loving my life. So what this 45-day, thanks, Kerry, for saying it's a great course. It's about reconnecting you to you, like your authentic you, not the persona you, not the person who you've become because of this job or this relationship or this thing that you now do, as in anything, being a mother, being a wife, being a sister, being a partner, being an employee, being a boss, being an owner, whatever. We wear so many hats in any day that it's really important for us to understand that we're not the hats that we wear. Underneath us is us. And that's what this program is all about. And it's a 45-day program where each day you get a new activity, which takes around 45 minutes to do maximum. And so for 45 days, you do one activity, a different activity each day. And it's just guiding you through the questions that you're asking yourself in this program to come back to you, for you to actually find your love and your joy and your fulfillment. And it just gives you that clarity. So, and it's $45 in total. It's not $45 a day, it's $1 a day. So click on the link, Janelle. I highly recommend it for you, because you're not sure and you're asking other people. It's time for you to start asking yourself. And that's what this program does. And that's why I purposely made it $1 a day, so that more people could start asking themselves the questions of, who am I? Where am I going? Why am I here? What am I here to do? And how can I ensure that when I do move on to my next adventure, that I've done everything I came here to do. I've, been in service to, different people. And when I say in service, sometimes you're here to be the best mother that you could possibly be, to raise this child to become whoever they're meant to be. Sometimes we get so caught up in what's my purpose, what's my passion, that we think it has to be this great big thing. We have to be like Gandhi or someone like that. But no, not always. We're here as a collective, and the more that you can inspire someone else to find their authenticity, to be who they are, to know that they are guided and protected and loved, the more that you will actually fulfill your life. And that's what Revitalize Your Life is all about. It's just helping you to reconnect to you so that you can realize that you matter. You are the most important person in your life. There is no one else that you are going to spend 24/7 with, every week for the rest of your life. You're not going to spend, up until now, whatever age you are, every year, every week of your life, you have spent 24/7 with you and only you. No one else have you ever been completely with for that time. And sometimes you forget that you are the most important person in your life. And sometimes we also forget that there isn't an expiry date on our birth certificate. So, when are you going to start to do the things that you came here to do? When are you going to be the person that you came here to be? And that's what Revitalize Your Life is all about. It's assisting you to reconnect to you. And as I said, that's why it's $1 a day. It's $45 because I know that it's the perfect price, the perfect investment that you can make in yourself because it will trigger these memories in you, this vitality in you, this joy and fulfillment, and it will give you the clarity so that you know that the answers that you're receiving are your answers. And that's a long about answer, isn't it? So I hope that helps you, Janelle. And I really do look forward to you letting me know how you go if you choose to invest the $45 in yourself. Okay, so I also saw, hi Judy, hi Michelle, great to have you here. Hopefully you're still here. But if not, that's okay. That you were here for a time and it was nice to have your energy on board. So, what else can we talk about today? Because I've only got a few more minutes. Is there any questions? Please write in any questions while I have a quick drink because I've been talking for nearly 45 minutes, believe it or not. Well, if there's not any more questions, I am going to love you and leave you and see you again here next week. Hopefully at our normal time or our usual time of noon Australian Eastern Standard Time. But who knows where I will be? And if it's, not next week, hopefully it'll be the week after. And I'd just like to say thank you for being here and spend some time looking after you. Spend some time doing the things that you love to do because it's really important that you understand that you are the most important person in your life. Goodbye for now. And thank you, everybody.